Morning. In this session, we evaluate the main chemical reactions occurring in the dry cell Leclanche. Remember, we had said the dry cell Leclanche is a primary non-rechargeable cell. Welcome. As stated, the dry cell is a primary non-rechargeable cell. We are going to particularly evaluate the main chemical reactions occurring in the cell. To begin with, the main reaction starts at the cathode. Now, when the cathode reaction is procured, we find that the zinc rod readily dissolves in the electrolyte, yielding zinc ions and discharging two delocalized electrons. These delocalized electrons are subsequently transferred towards the anode terminal. As they move or shift towards the anode terminal, apparently they meet ammonium ions, which happens to be a component of the electrolytic solution. And when the ammonium ions meet the delocalized free electrons, the electrons readily reduce the ammonium ions into ammonia gas and hydrogen gas, respectively. Now, once these two gases have been formed, remember there were some liquid paste present at the anode. In that respect, we'll realize that the hydrogen ions or hydrogen gas will subsequently meet the manganese 4 oxide, which happen to be at the anode, and the manganese 4 oxide readily reduces the hydrogen gas into water, precipitating manganese and forming liquid water. This is the apparent view as to why the dry cells, after a procedural use, ends up being wet, simply because the reaction has formed water. Next to this, we find that the ammonia gas, which has been formed in that process, will proceed to meet the electrolytic solution composed of zinc chloride. And when ammonia gas interacts with the zinc chloride solution, the precipitated product is a complex salt referred to as tetraamine zinc chloride. In this case, this complex salt is irreversible. And this is why we say that this cell is non-rechargeable, simply because it forms an irreversible complex salt, rendering the cell depleted. What then are the essential applications of this cell? The primary dry cell Leclanche has been used in a varied range of gadget cells. Namely, it can produce and manufacture primary microcells, including the manufacture of cells that are used in phones and manufacture of cells that are used in computers and other gadgets. It is therefore apparent that the dry cell Leclanche is an important cell. The only disadvantage it has, it is unrechargeable. We have said in summary that in the dry cell Leclanche, the main reaction begins at the cathode with the oxidation of the zinc, forming zinc ions and two electrons. The subsidiary reaction involves the electrolyte meeting the electrons formed at the cathode and reducing into ammonia gas and hydrogen gas. It is rendered wet when the hydrogen gas is oxidized by the manganese 4 oxide paste into water. And we find that the cell is depleted whenever the ammonia gas formed interacts with the zinc chloride buffer solution, forming the complex tetraamine zinc chloride. The cell is unrechargeable but has a varied range of application in the manufacture of micro dry cell for gadgets such as computers, phones, and other material. Thank you.